Hello, welcome back, Box1 here, and today we're going to be looking at this. This is the LEGO game Minotaurus that came out back in 2010. It has a bunch of cool stuff, 12 player minifigures, one Minotaur, some very cool features, and a very nice 32 by 32 base plate, as well as cardboard piece. So, I do hope you'll enjoy, and let's get into it. And we can start with the minifigures. The minifigures are pretty cool, or I guess mini minifigures as I call them. These are these small game pieces that you use. You get 3 of each of them, and they are the same in their color, print-wise anyway, but they're pretty cool. The blue one has a bit of glare on him, so we'll kind of angle him so you can see him properly. But they're just modeled after ancient soldiers from, I believe, Greece or Rome or something like that, Sparta. But they're pretty cool. I quite like them, and they have some pretty cool little features on them. I could see them being used in like an ancient MOC, like miniature scale, not minifigure scale. Kind of interesting there. I do like the white one. I think the white one's pretty interesting, and the red one's also a bit different. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty simple. Now we can look at the only figure that stands out, or I guess not stands out, but is different, the Minotaur. And the Minotaur is brick built. He's not a minifigure, but he is brick built, and he's very interesting. He has these little hands which are made from clips, and some very nice horns on his head. Now this bar, usually you can push it all the way down, but it makes it hard to put him actually on the board, because that blocks the stud in there. But he's pretty cool. I quite like him. He's very simple brick built figure, but it works pretty well to represent him. The final thing we'll look at under the little thingy here is the dice. Now the dice is pretty interesting. It has obviously 6 sides, and this is actually, one goes up to 6 in terms of counting, as you can see. And you also get an extra 3 or a normal 3, and you get an extra green. These are interchangeable. I'll show you what both of them do. 3 is pretty obvious, you just move 3 spaces, but the green one's a bit more different. This one allows you to place a wall. We'll talk about all these rules in a little while. And this one allows you to use the Minotaur. Very simple. You do get a wrench in the set, if I can find it, to actually take off the pieces so you can replace the 3 with the green or the green with the 3. And you get 16 of these aforementioned walls, 8 of which are off the board and 8 of which are on the board, as you can see. With the figures and stuff looked at, we can now look at the board, which the board is actually pretty interesting. It is just a 32 by 32 base plate in that nice classic LEGO green color. It has these 4 corners. As you can see, they all pertain to one of the colors here. So you just put all 3 figures on the corners, which I'm just going to do now. And you can see what that looks like, the figures on the corner and the Minotaur in the middle. You can also see the 8 other walls on the sides here, and then on every side there's 2. You just take those off when you're using them in play, but those are pertaining to this thing. The last thing you'll notice is this cardboard insert, and that's actually used to make the maze, and it just goes, how do you put this? There we go. And also you can have the walls here if you want to just store them on the board. So I'll actually set it up like that so you can see how that would look. And that actually looks pretty good. It breaks up the monotonous green, and it's also better for storage. I don't know why I don't keep it like that. But anyway, that's basically it for the board, though. It's pretty simple, and there are some instructions on how to build the outer wall. But other than that, you just use that cardboard thing to put the layout in. We can now get into the actual game and how to play it with the rulebook, which is right here, and it's pretty cool. On the inside, it just shows the setup of the game at the start. That's basically just what we have here. Then we have the aim of the game, which is for 2 players, you got to get 2 of your heroes to the center. With 3 players to 4 players, you only have to get 1. Now, usually what I do is I play, you have to get all your players to the center, even in a 3-person, 4-person game. I just think it makes for a funner and longer experience. It also shows you how to change the things on the dice, as well as just the dice itself. Getting into the dice, it's pretty simple. The sides with numbers are pretty self-explanatory. It just indicates how many spaces you'll move. 3 spaces, 4 spaces, 5 spaces, or 6 spaces. Easy. The one with the wall is pretty interesting though, because you get to place a wall or take a wall away and then place it. Now what you can do is, if you get a wall, you can block an enemy player from reaching the Minotaur. And you can do this multiple times, but what you can't do is this. You can't block off them entirely. They have to be able to make it somehow. You can block them off in crazy ways and like block them off like this, which makes them have to go all the way around. I've done that a couple times in games, which is very fun, but you can't block them off fully. The final thing you get to do, or the second to final thing I should say, is moving the Minotaur. Now that happens if you roll a black on the dice. Let me find the dice here so I can show you the black. And what you do with that is you get to move 8 spaces with the Minotaur. So, say there's an enemy player right here. He's less than 8 spaces away. You can start on any side of the thingy, and you just move, and you can get him. Now, once you get a player, or if you get a player, if you don't, you just move, and he stays there. Another player can pick him up and control him if he rolls a black, and the game can keep going. But if he does get a player, he has to move all the way back to here. So even if he's like out here, he has to move back. The final thing is the green tile, which replaces the number 3 on there, and you can see it's in the hedge jumping category, because you can jump hedges, which is very, very important. And with this, you can have your player, say he's red, he's over here, say there's a wall here, so he can't get over. He can now, if he gets the green, he can either just move 3 spaces, try to go around it, or he can go over it. Now it shows you on the actual instructions the type of move you can make. You can only do this. You can only be right here and move forward 3, and that'll put you right here. You can't be back here, you can't stay on the wall, and you can't, yeah, that'll keep you on the wall. You can't be on the wall when the turn ends. So if you're here, you move over. If you're here, you move over in 1. Very simple, but it's very good for getting over the sections with walls on them. And besides that, there's only any changes to the movement in the actual build changing category, and that says you can change the Minotaur's movement. Maybe he's more powerful, maybe he's less powerful, maybe he can jump hedges. That's your own thing, you can decide. But winning the game is pretty simple, and eliminating other players is also pretty simple. Now, to win, you have to obviously get all your players to the end, but rolling black is one of the best things to deny an enemy the victory. Because if you roll black, you can use the Minotaur to send them back to the start. Because if you get somebody with the Minotaur, say you get smacked in the face by a Minotaur, he has to move all the way back to his spawn location, which basically means it resets him entirely, and he can't even get to the thing for a little while longer, which gives you an opportunity to win. So that's how you defend from other players winning, and that's how you win yourself. Other than that, that's basically it. You can change the game by obviously building harder, different labyrinths, they're all different on either side. You can make it a harder game, which is actually what I do all the time. And then, yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can make your own rules as well. But yeah, that's basically it for the game. I think it's a very fun game. I've played it many times, and it's very, very enjoyable to play. Very competitive as well, with the Minotaur kind of destroying your opponents, or you getting destroyed by the Minotaur, depending on if you roll black or not. But it's a very fun game. I like playing on the hard difficulty, where you have to get all players to the center to win. And yeah, I just thought it's interesting. I think I got it back. Yeah, I got it for $12.49, $12.50 at one point. I forget when, but it was at a half-price books or something. Anyway, a very cool LEGO game, and a very cool premise. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed. I don't think I have any other LEGO games to review. At least I don't have any ones that I can review. I do have a 1998 LEGO Time Twisters game, or Time something game, and that's a really cool game, but I got it sealed, and I reviewed it back then. I don't want to review it again because, I mean, I had it sealed, so that's kind of makes it for the best review. But yeah, a very cool game here, and I do hope you enjoyed. I shall see you next time, and goodbye.